All right, everybody. We have Ben with me. Ben, how's it going, man? Welcome to the Gamer Life podcast.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for that lovely intro as well. Yeah, I try my best.
Yeah, it's
Hope everyone's doing good.
It's always a bit awkward because it comes across as, me tooting the guest's horn every time. But
Yeah.
I truly do bring people on that I kind of like their stuff, right? So it's no coincidence you're here. Let's be straight about that. But why don't you give people a bit of a primer on you? Who is ProRogueBear or Ben? Can I call you Ben? Because Bear
call me Ben.
will be a bit weird, right? So let's go with Ben. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Now I always just start my streams off saying like, oh, you can just call me Ben. Like I literally I just think like so some people like pick different names like Pro or Ben or Bear or stuff, but whatever's easiest for you guys. That's the main thing. Yeah, so I've been streaming just over a year. Started like last February. Pre-pandemic. I mean, I guess the pandemic was like rippling in Italy and stuff like that and stuff, but it wasn't one of those things of like, oh, pandemic's coming, let's jump on Twitch,
Right.
kind of thing. And then it was just kind of wanted to kind of meet more people, play more games, and kind of loved the tech aspect, the challenge of finding out how to stream and stuff like that. Like, yes. I love learning new things like that. And boy, there's a lot to learn there. And yeah, so I've been doing that for just over a year. And yeah, on my day-to-day kind of job, I run an accountancy firm. So, but it's a modern one. Don't worry, I'm not there bashing calculators and
right
suit and tie and stuff. We're again like before pandemic, run a remote team of like six of us that are all over the UK, and yeah, we help small businesses and basically during the day, and then I play games and stuff during the night. So
yeah,
it's not quite the superhero at night like Batman, but
right,
yeah, but games and that's
fighting
the
crime,
main thing.
One Twitch stream at a time. Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So our setup looks very similar actually because both of us use the Arctix Pro wireless. We both have an SM7B. We have the.
I can bring a guitar in as well if that helps.
Oh, nice! Hell yes! Wait, is that a Jazzmaster?
It is. Good eye. Yeah. Fender Jazzmaster.
Woo!
So
Beautiful.
Yeah, I am. I'm very much learning though. Still learning. I've been playing acoustic for the last been playing acoustic for like last 8 or 9 years.
Hell
That's the first electric guitar I bought, and I bought it 2 months ago. So I'm very new to the amps and electric and learning that, learning licks and riffs and stuff. But yeah, I don't have mine all on the wall, but
right. No, but that's cool, man. So we have even more in common than I knew.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Ben, dude, let me talk to you a little bit about my impressions of your stream, and then you can tell me, I guess, how much of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let me give you like my take, right? So the first thing that kind of caused me to stay was that it looks very clean, and that for me that's a big thing. How much thought do you put into like overlays? I guess, do you think a lot about, the minimalism of it? Because obviously a lot of people like the big, borders and all that stuff. But your stuff is much more along the lines of, just minimalistic, no border, clean, right? Which is something that I also try to do. So is that something you've put thought into, or did you just happen into this?
No, yeah, very much so. I've always, I think if we still had VODs from my like very first couple of streams where you've like loaded in like a pre-created overlay from like Streamlabs, and I think we've all been there, and you just get it going, don't you? Like version 1 is better than version none. Like just never getting started. And so I did play around early days with just like, oh, you've got like little tickers and goals and a lot of clutter and chat on the actual game while you're playing the game and stuff like that. And I kind of quite early on, like a month or two in, I just stripped it all back because I was like, I quite like as a viewer a clean minimalist kind of view, and
yes.
I'm very much like, when it comes to like mindset and stuff, of acting as if. And when you look at a lot of like the big successful streamers as well, they're normally, it's quite clean as well. There's not, it's very purposeful. If there's stuff on there, like things got to have a value or a purpose to be there. It's not just littering for the sake of having clutter.
That real estate on the screen.
Exactly. And I am more of I don't do just chatting a lot or anything like that. I'm very much, we're playing the game, I'm playing it with chat. Normally we're playing story or RPGs together with chat. And so the game is almost front and center. So I'm very much like, I did want to have my cam, because I know that's a decision some streamers do. Do you have a cam or not?
Right.
And that was more just to get out of comfort zone and things like that as well. So I was like, right, I'm going to have my camera there. And that's pretty much it. We have a little bar underneath that has the ticker for new subs, new donations, followers, that kind of stuff. But other than that, we have like, obviously the sub alerts pop up, disappear. Don't do sub goals or donation goals or anything like that. Nothing against those. It's just that I don't want them on my screen. Like I've tried playing around with it, and I just think there's not a nice way to have them succinctly, so that they're not drawing away from the main event, which is the game and the stream itself. So it was very much a conscious decision to kind of have that as a setup on that side of things.
Yeah, it's good to hear, because I think it's a trap a lot of people fall into, just the idea of having a lot of stuff equals, giving more value, but really it's not. You just need, like, the minimum to give the information to. I think it is important for people to see their names on screen, so you have the ticker with the recent events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and there's something psychological about that, right? People I think they like seeing their name there, like, oh, I put some bits, there I am, right? Yeah. I'm a part of this.
It's the inclusion, the recognition, and just like people chipping into the community and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of value there. I know there's been a lot of talk about that recently as well, about should you shout out followers and stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of value that people take away from that, in terms of having that moment within the stream, and they're joining into it and stuff like that. And so I think that's something I've been really keen to kind of keep on board and kind of build around the stream, and have like the alerts and everything like that. And then everything else just nice and minimal, with just the camera and the little ticker underneath that just cycles through. That's pretty much it. Yeah,
there's a balance between recognition of people and their contribution and all that, and just totally derailing your show, your stream, turning it into like a shout out session. So I think there's a balance there, especially as the more you grow, it becomes trickier. But I think it's really important to, recognize people for just the fact that they're there, as often as possible, because at the end of the day, it feels to me, everybody just wants to be appreciated in some way, right? Even trolls, they're like mean on the exterior, but in the interior, they're just, they've probably been hurt and probably live a terrible life in the basement or something, and making up for it. But all they want is to be appreciated. And I find a lot of times you can disarm mean people with, a little bit of kindness or, like appreciation. Sometimes absolutely not. And then, they're out.
Trolls deserve love too.
Yeah,
trolls
right.
Deserve love too.
Right.
Yeah, we've had that. You had that sometimes. You have people come in. Very rarely. I'm quite fortunate that generally, like, chat's always very nice and clean, and there's not clean as swearing going on left, right, and center, but it's authorized swearing. It's authorized. we mark the stream for mature, so it's all good.
A proper British stream with some good amount of swearing.
Yeah. Normally, why have I done that? Clearly, I'm not meant to do that. I've now died. Do I know what I'm doing? but no. Occasionally, you get like the odd troll come in and stuff. And yeah, you're right. Sometimes just like kind of acknowledging it and not necessarily getting angry or rising to it, but just being like, yeah, that's cool, dude. Yeah, whatever kind of thing. Like, welcome on in. It kind of can disarm it at sometimes, and other times you got to have the mods with the ban hammer ready to just clear them out. But,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the Tob said in chat there, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. Apparently, that's a quote by Reid Hoffman. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know him, but the quote is familiar, and I think that holds true.
That, yeah.
When you look back. Or even not look back, let's be a bit more vulnerable even than that. When you watch, your recent streams, do you ever go back and watch like pieces of your VODs to kind of see how that's coming across?
Yeah, so sometimes I'll have a look back at a couple, especially if I'm. For me, it's more checking audio. It's more checking.
Right.
Was my game audio right at that point? Was the game too loud? Was my mic? Does my mic need tweaking or equalizing or stuff like that? But I think definitely from when I'm looking at, right, I'm gonna change something on the stream, I'll have a little look back at my previous ones that I'm like almost like the version I'm currently running and just be like, right, what works, what's in focus, what's out of focus, what things do I need to kind of, where is it best? And even sometimes like game wise, is it best to be in the top left corner with my camera there? Am I blocking obvious crucial stuff that the stream would need? And that's then, so then next time I can go, actually, okay, we're going to be on the bottom right this time because there's nothing important down there. And it's kind of just being, I think there's a lot to say about being flexible to change and being open to change and adjusting. And like I said, this will not be my final version of my stream in a year's time, 2 years time, and so on. And there's stuff that I need to do. And I think there's always that room for little improvements and tweaks and things like that.
Yeah.
That can be done.
So in the spirit of being a bit vulnerable, do you think your shit is good when you look at it? Are you like, yeah, it's good? Or like, how do you feel about it when you look at it?
So I put a lot of work into I'm running off of a DSLR. I've got the little
obviously a lot of
background. Yeah. We got the nice crisp 1.4 aperture. Like so we got that kind of blurred little bokeh in the back as well. So it from a cam point of view, if we went back to the little Logitech C920 I was running off of last February, it's a stark difference up to a 4K 30 frames per second camera here. So like from a camera point of view, I'm definitely like, yeah, that shit's good. Like that shit's good. And people come in there and go, whoa, like that looks really good.
Right.
And then yeah, I think my main thing is, I've tried a lot to kind of crispen the audio and stuff like that as well. But I'm not an audio producer or stuff. I have equalized as much as I technically can with my microphone. But I have no idea if that's actually good or not. So,
it sounds good.
Those kind of things are kind of just, I'm always open to we have people come in and go, oh, that needs to be tweaked a little bit, or have you thought about doing this? And like I said, I think that for me, it's always a learning process, and so there's always going to be things where I'm like, yeah, actually, that could be a good thing to put in or implement or change moving forward, and but yeah, I think from a camera point of view, I'm perfectly happy. From an audio point of view, and just keeping an eye on that is always a learning experience for me at the moment. For sure.
Right. It's almost like it's not a cop out, but you're playing it very safe because you're talking about the technical stuff, which obviously you've put a lot of work into, and it looks great.
But I guess because my stream's so minimal, there's only the camera and the ticker. There's nothing else I can pick apart from the outside the game capture.
Do you think about how you talk And like, I guess, are you deliberate about like how you're talking, the fact that, you know, there's no dead air or all those kinds of things? Is that like a deliberate process in your brain, or are you basically in autopilot? How is it for you?
I guess it can go through different stages. So there's definitely times where I'm especially when you're starting a stream. So I'm quite lucky at the moment where give it 10, 15 minutes and we've got a pretty active chat. Like there's people there, there's people in there talking to each other, and we're kind of just vibing in whatever game we're playing. But I think even still to today, like there's still that first 5 to 10 minutes of a stream. People are still getting the notifications. People maybe aren't ready for it quite yet. And so there's still definitely that kind of time where I'm just like, cool.
Right.
Room for one kind of thing.
So do you bring in a few topics or something to talk about for those times? Or how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so normally I'll kind of just be recapping, just kind of talking to myself, but to chat, and to anyone who's starting the lurk and starting to come into the conversation. I'll be talking about, all these picking up from like the game that we were last playing, depending on what we're playing. Like, okay, so we were doing this last time, and trying kind of like a previously on.
Right, yeah. Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. and to try and just catch people up, but also, like you said, I think there is an expectancy for people when they jump onto a channel on Twitch that there is something happening, there is a conversation happening, and that's very hard to do at the very beginning. Like at the very beginning of a stream when it's literally
it's a monologue
on the counter. And so it is. I mean, thankfully, it is one of those things where it's 5 to 10 minutes, and then we've got people in there, and then it's how are you doing? Welcome in. What have you been up to? And it kind of then starts that conversation, and we delve into whether we're raiding or continuing with a game or whatever it might be. It kind of just flows from there, and it probably is a lot more on autopilot at that point. It switches more to that's sorted. That's something off my mind now.
Yeah,
and I can just vibe, and it's just more like it goes from almost standing on a stage to just hanging with friends in a way at that point.
Right, exactly. And I see Cheersy in chat from your stream. So hello, Cheersy. Nice to meet
you. Shout out for Cheersy.
Yeah. So how do you feel about mods? Do you guys have mods, or have you felt the need for it? How's that working?
Yeah, so I have 4 or 5, and pretty much always at least 2 will be there pretty much throughout most streams, and just very honored to have found them, really. And I actually don't know any of my mods personally. They're all like in real life or anything. They're all I've met through games or communities and stuff like that, and they've I guess they're like. It got to a point where they're like, well, you're here all the time, so you might as well ban the do you want more followers?
Yeah.
Do you want to be famous?
Exactly.
And so we've got a couple that they've just recently just had their like 12-month subs as well. They've been mods
look at that.
for almost a whole year. Like it's
hell yeah.
It's still bizarre and crazy for me to think about that. But yeah, it's I guess like there's the thing of like I'm a lot more liberal with the VIPs and people who come in regularly. But at the same time, modding is almost there's an expectancy there of people have got to be switched on, I guess, and pick up what things are tolerable and which things aren't, and so with the modding, I'm never like, oh hey, you're promoted to mod now. It's kind of like they've either asked because they want to, and I'm like, that's awesome. I don't mod for anyone. I don't trust myself to mod for anyone. Like I'm like wouldn't be sure what that stream is necessarily finds acceptable or not, and stuff like that. So I mean, it's kudos to these people that they want to just hang out in the streams, and that's awesome in itself. But then the fact they also want to help me with this and help like just keep chat a safe and nice space for everyone.
Yeah,
it's just awesome. So yeah, really, really grateful for my mods. And and yeah, everything they do, and you know, then them along with a lot of our VIPs and stuff, they're normally like the people that are all vibing regularly, and you know, so we're sometimes playing games together, going through stuff together, and things like that as well, and yeah, it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, I think as dudes on Twitch, we get it easy compared to
Definitely,
like we don't have to deal with a lot of like, you know, creepy shit.
Yeah,
I don't know about
yeah.
you, but you know, I mean, do you get anybody coming in like, you know, oh hey daddy, nice beard or something, you know, like.
Funnily enough, that Chelsea's here, yeah.
Shit.
No, I think yeah, I guess like you said, it's a complete different dynamic. I think I think the that type of person that's doing that to the predominantly female streamers is not here for our content necessarily.
They are not in the market for our content.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I know that. And I think that's a lot of stuff that's been discussed on Twitter and stuff recently, isn't it? Like the whole hot tub meta and stealing views and
right, the whole
stealing the views, and
the whole discussion is moot because those people aren't in the market for our content anyways. So
exactly, they're on Twitch to enjoy those people's content instead.
Yeah,
and that's absolutely fine. And then they're never going to be wandering around going, oh, what's ProRogueBear doing on Final Fantasy today? Like,
right, exactly. It's not like, oh, the hot tub streamer is not on. Let me go watch some Final Fantasy 14 with Ben. Exactly. You know, like no.
He's gonna find some other like just chatting stream or some other people to like. And I think like there's it's just a blame mentality that I think people put on straight away. That it's
exactly.
Oh, it's not anything with me. It's everything with them, and it's just a lack of accountability. I think on
it's much easier, isn't it, to just say, hey, it's an issue with the system. And it's set up against me as it is. Yeah,
exactly. And I think on the one hand, from the outside view, it's like, oh, they must have it so easy, you know, just hundreds of these viewers just throwing subs and bits in the hope that they get shouted out. But there's also like I feel like a level of kind of, I guess, vulnerability, but also like a concern of like safety and privacy and stuff, because some of these people can go way too far and they don't know when to call a line and stuff like that. And so I think like some of these like really popular female streamers and stuff, they, you know, must have like amazing like mental resistance and fortitude to kind of just, you know, because
very thick skin.
You don't necessarily get it where it's just the social media side comes over to it where it's like, oh, you look a bit fat today, or oh, you look a bit, and it's like people feel the need to comment and say these things, and it's like, say nice things or nothing at all. Like that's still a thing that applies. Like there's no need for people to do that. But I see that a lot in some of the female streamers I follow and stuff. I just see this chat and I'm just like, Jesus. And you see the chat go, and you see it grayed out, and then you see them banned and timed out, and you just just like, wow, like it's
a different experience, man. Yeah,
exactly. And like I said, I don't do a lot of just chatting, so I haven't really experienced that even as a guy on that side of things. But I know you can just get some, from what I've heard, like just random people coming into just chatting streams, and you never know what you're going to get. It's like, spin the wheel. Are they going to be nice, or are they going to be a troll, or what? And yeah, it's, I think there's definitely, at the end of the day, hot tub streams and all that kind of stuff, the Just Dance streams and stuff, they know what they're doing, but it's content. It's content and it's marketing, and I believe it does have a place on Twitch. There's clearly an audience for it, and it's no different to people playing like because I see a lot of people going, oh, Twitch is for games. Twitch is leave Twitch for gaming, but just chatting is like the biggest category, and music's a huge category.
Yeah.
And
guess what? People come back for you, not for the game you're playing. Well, there are cases where, you know, they like the game you're playing, so they come back for that. But it's always a combination, and most of the time there are countless other streamers they could go to, and they're coming back for you. So definitely it's like a people thing. It's
exactly.
It's the person. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And so I think it's definitely been something where it's you kind of, this is I mean, Twitch is a marathon, not a sprint. You know, it's not a quick rich scheme. It is one of those things where you're building a community, and you can't force that. You can't force that, and that's the same with any business as well. You can't just open up a store one day and expect all the customers to be there. There's marketing. There's a systems and work and processes that go on behind the scenes. Showing up, having schedules, having an expectation of what, you know, if you look at your viewers as a customer, like, are they going to come to your stream? What are they going to get? What are they going to expect? So for me, it's like, you know, minimalist kind of look, a chilled out area. Like, you know, we're just going to be playing some games. Like, you know, they're not going to come on one day and I'm there sat in a hot tub in a bikini, like chilling, going, "Hey guys,
hey guys."
Hey, I heard this is what you like, because that's not necessarily what my audience is looking for either.
Right, exactly.
And so I think there's an element of, sometimes, going back to what I was saying earlier, sometimes change and being mindful of what things are good to kind of go into is a good thing to kind of evolve and better yourself and create new content. But then there's a point where you also don't want to just go too far off the left field, that you're completely just different and everything's just like, you're not being authentic with yourself anymore. You're not doing it because you want to. You're doing it because you feel like it's going to buy you more views, and that's, I think that's where some people can go wrong, where they're chasing the clout, not chasing the I guess the long aim goal, that you're going to have a community of people that you can play games with and hang out with.
Yeah, and what's trending will change. So, you know, if they're catering to that flavor of the month thing and it's not really what drives them, then at some point that's going to stop working and they're going to be lost as well. So yeah, you got to kind of believe in your format, in your in your show, right? But I did want to ask you, because you said, you know, it's a marathon and you've been doing this for about a year, you said?
Yeah.
So a year. And it's tough in the beginning, right, to kind of get your name out there, get yourself established, and people to come back and all that, and get new people. So for you, what is like one or two of the main metrics you look at to kind of judge whether you're progressing or not? Like, is it, you know, concurrent viewer count? What is it for you?
Yeah, so I think what I found quite quickly is that the concurrent viewers can wildly change between the game that you're playing.
Yeah.
On and that can be in that community. So, and even to some extent, like the portion of the game that you're playing as well. Final Fantasy is a good example of this. Final Fantasy 14, I started playing that in May, and that has a fantastic community. I mean, if anyone's played that game or streams that game or watches streams of that game, the community within that is just so amazing, especially on Twitch anyway. Like it's people that are
they
just
welcome you a lot.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people that I guess they really enjoy, they don't want to go through it again themselves, but they really enjoy watching new people go through the story, because especially Final Fantasy 14 has got like a really good story for an MMO. And there's people that just love to not backseat heavily or in that, but they just like to hang out and like watch the new person figure it out and stuff like that.
And to help you, like, oh, here's the rotation. Here, you know, like here, exactly. And that's a good example where now I'm like at the end game. My audience has switched a bit. Oh,
where I actually now, a lot of those people, they'll find someone else who's now playing through it again and help those people. Some of those people have stayed. And now we get new people who are more kind of end game raiders, like Savage Raiders and stuff like that. And so now it's turned more into, you know, I'm not a new player anymore. Like I'm an experienced player. I'm still learning stuff, but I'm deemed an experienced player in that now, and like doing top end content in that game. And so yeah, people who are looking for the new person who they can help and support, because some people like to do that, don't they? They enjoy that and things like that. they don't need to mentor me anymore on that side of things. I'm now the master, not the Padawan anymore.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and they'll find a new Padawan to guide through. And I think that can be the case in a lot of different games as well. And yeah, some games will play where they're like a single player RPG or something like that. And you get new people come in, you get the existing people enjoying that and stuff like that as well. But I find if I just looked at the average viewers, it would vary so much based on what I was playing. It would almost start to dictate what I would be playing if I'm trying to satisfy that goal.
Right.
Or dictate how I would play the content. And I'm not necessarily here to kind of play the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Because I just because it gets me views, because I have a short attention span. I like to play different games. Yes, Final Fantasy is probably my main game I play at the moment, but we play a lot of different variety games throughout the week. We play like three games a week at the moment, kind of thing. Different days doing different things, and I couldn't just sit on 14 all the time. Just doing that over and over.
Yeah.
Just like I couldn't, because I think I started playing like Warzone and stuff like that and Apex Legends back when I first started, and even that I can't just sit and do those over and over and over and over again, because I love the story games. I'm hyped for some of the games that are coming out this month or coming out the rest of this year and stuff like that, and always has for me. I feel like I can't just be a one game person, because I would miss out on so many other games that are coming out and experiencing those. And
and that comes across definitely if you're forcing it. Like if you're playing something out of like, hey, I just want to keep this schedule and it's going to be good for the channel, you can really tell the person isn't really enjoying it that much, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I tend to, I guess the main way that I'm measuring success, I say in quotation marks, is definitely the chat. How active is chat?
Right.
How many people are there? Who's returning? Like the again, it's the community that it's kind of fostering and building. And we've got people that they joke that we play Pokemon occasionally, and we've got a couple of people that can't stand Pokemon, can't stand it. But they're still there in chat anyway, because they're still vibing, good time, kind of like they're not there necessarily for the gameplay, but they're there to kind of hang out with everyone that's there together. And yeah, some people then can't stand Final Fantasy but love Pokemon and stuff. So I think that's the only downside with being a variety streamer, is I think it's definitely a bit slower, because you don't have a whole cohesive targeted audience that know exactly what you're playing. Like they know what that person's going to be doing day in, day out. And so they can just tune in and turn up for that. Whereas I think variety, there's going to be some things where people are like, nah, I don't like that. Or I'll come back like next week and see what they're playing or stuff like that. Because I think I play a lot of different stuff as well. I'm quite open to a lot of different games. So it could be a variety of different genres that we're playing as well. And some people might have already seen it. I found definitely playing games like Cyberpunk, playing games like even Outriders and stuff like that, like games where there's spoiler territory or they're very story heavy. In my mind, I'm like, this is going to be great to stream. I think that's only great for the big streamers to stream. Like you see the big streamers with the huge numbers on those games, but a lot of I always find personally anyway, my numbers are always lower when I'm playing those games. Purely because people are like, I want to play it myself. I want to experience it first. I want to have that story first. Last of Us 2 was a big one, actually. We had like I played through that quite slowly anyway, but found overall lower viewership during that time. Not because it was a bad game, but just because people were playing through it themselves. Some people trying to play it quicker than me so that they can watch it and they're not getting spoiled.
I had that exact thing with Cyberpunk too. And it's funny you mentioned Last of Us. I just got done playing it, and because I got to it so late in the game, like in the cycle, everybody who was gonna play it kind of had played it, so it worked out. But I tend to agree with you. I think it's very ambitious to try to pitch like a full, lengthy story game to the audience, because if they miss even one stream, it's going to be difficult to keep up unless they've already played and know the story pretty well, right? Whereas games like Final Fantasy 14 and others, it's like, you can miss a stream. It's fine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You'll catch up just fine. So I think some games lend themselves better to that. And I think there's a falling off. Sorry, just to wrap up. There's like a falling off tendency where if someone misses a stream in one of those games, they may be like, you know what, I'm already kind of disconnected. I might as well, just wait for the next game or something. And then some people tend to fall off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I think that's also one of the good things with, I guess, like viewer retention is people, especially when, I put the schedule up and stuff, and we're playing through Final Fantasy VIII at the moment. I've never played it before, so it was like, so let's try one of these ones that I've never played, and so we just put it up on the schedule, and then people know that we're playing through it. Then they've all played it. It came out in 1999 or something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone, like you said, everyone's gonna. So even if they miss a stream in that regard, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we know what's happening.
They know what's going on.
We've had plenty of time to do it. You don't get any people worried about spoilers for themselves or anything like that, because again, they've already played it. I'm the one that's late to the party, and so I found like those ones work a lot better than like the brand new games just out. Let's play through them because
100%.
And I'm exactly the same. As a viewer, I don't want to watch that. Like I didn't want to watch anything Cyberpunk because I didn't want to have any of it spoiled for me. I didn't want to watch any Final Fantasy 14 when I was like anyone else playing 14 while I was going through the story because I didn't want spoilers. Now I'm at the end. I'm fine with that, but because again, it doesn't matter. I've experienced it, but yeah, it's definitely like I completely get it from the viewer side of things because I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah, it makes sense. For 14, did you do like the base game or DLC as well? Where are you?
So the whole thing, yeah. So I started in the Realm Reborn, like the very beginning, and then I think in November I finished Shadowbringers, which is the most recent one. So
you've done all the DLC and stuff?
But yeah, did all the DLC.
Dude, okay.
But obviously, like, I mean, Final Fantasy is one of those ones, it's kind of ruined other MMOs for me a little bit because you can have one character with all your classes. You can level all your classes. So you don't have to create a new character to try a different class out and stuff like that, like you do in other ones. And so, I've finished Shadowbringers. I have got to the end. I'm doing what they call the Savage raids and the end tier content, but I'm by no way near done finishing the game because there's still so much there. Like there's so much stuff, like classes I haven't done. There's a lot of replayability and not necessarily story, but just, I mean, all the classes have their own stories and stuff. So there's still like loads of stuff I haven't touched on yet, but from as far as like the main kind of storyline goes, that's kind of was a good journey to kind of go through, and it's allowed me to kind of, I probably stream Final Fantasy like once or twice a week now. Step back a little bit from it, still do some little bits and pieces, but like I said, it's given me the opportunity to now go, right, okay, let's play Final Fantasy, let's play Nier, we did Doom 2016, and chat wants to do Doom Eternal at some point. So, there's it gives those kind of options to play different games. And like I said, even that as an example, like the channel will go from playing like Doom to Final Fantasy to Pokemon to whatever. Like as long as it's a game I'm enjoying, we're just going to play it. And there's not too much thought about, my Final Fantasy 14 streamer. It's all I can stream. That's the only thing I can stream. Because if I don't, then no one will come watch me. Like I'm playing the game because I want to enjoy it, and people want to hang out. That's great, and hopefully we're all gonna have a good time. And that's the main thing, really.
I got to like level 60, and almost beat all of like the base game stuff. I was in that kind of transition period into the first DLC, I think, where you still have to do like a bunch of quests to fully get into the DLC like the proper. Quests, so I got like a bit burnt out with that, so I took a step back. I have yet to return to do the DLC, but I mean, you sound really high on it. Would you say like the DLC is better than the base game? How do you think about it?
I think it's quite unanimous across the community that every expansion
It's just
is
better.
better. It just gets better and better because I guess they got more of a budget, better writing, better story. Obviously, as a Final Fantasy game, the music's phenomenal across the board.
Dude, that theme. What is it? I'm trying to remember the name of the town where you start. So I was a summoner, right? And
in Limsa. Is it
Limsa? Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, the theme of that city is so good. I would sometimes just sit there in the city, just like listening to that.
It's really good, and I think like obviously you got Heavenswood, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers. Heavenswood's free now within the trial. I think within the level 60 trial.
And Shadowbringers, I've heard, is up there with some of the best storylines.
Yeah, really, really, really good, and I think that's why I think Endwalker is the next one that's coming out later this year, and that's why a lot of people are hyped for that. So I think it's one of those things as well where you can kind of just drop back into it, see how you feel about it. It's you don't have to have. I don't think there's much of a expectancy to be playing it constantly, and that's what I found as well. I thought I've got to play it nonstop, got to keep up, and I think actually you can dip into it here and there. There's going to be times where I just want to play it all of this week, and then there's other times where I'm like, I'm just going to play it for a couple of hours today, if that, and then I'm just going to play other stuff this week. It's one of those ones where you can just jump back into it.
Right, exactly.
It's and it's very easy just to pick up where you left off, kind of thing as well.
So you're going back to Final Fantasy VIII. Have you played others? Are you like a big fan of this series?
So I've always kind of liked the games, but I think I've only ever finished 10. Okay. I don't think I've even finished 7.
10 is one of the best, for sure.
Yeah, and I really liked 10. But even that was the PS4 remaster one. It wasn't I never played it originally on the PS2. So yeah, for me, it's definitely, I want to, again, because of a lot of my community, like enjoy Final Fantasy and stuff. And it's kind of sacrilege that I haven't played through these. I definitely kind of want to play some of them, not necessarily doing it in order. That's why we were like, right, I'm just gonna let the community vote. So they voted for 8 as our next playthrough.
Okay.
So I was like, right, we're gonna buy it and we're gonna play through it and we're gonna experience it and
what about
go from there. And
the remake of Final Fantasy VII? Have you played that?
I haven't. So I got it free on the PS4 Plus thingy that came out. They had it like the other month, didn't they? It was a free one. I downloaded it. I was in two minds of that because apparently it's insane, like gorgeous looking and technically amazing.
And it has Tifa. So
and I've played Final Fantasy VII before, like probably up to like the second or third remaster game that they would bring out, because obviously this one's just Midgar, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess I will get around to it at some point. But I was thinking the problem is that I'm gonna play this. When's the next one? When's the second chapter of that gonna come out? When's the third one? Like that's probably gonna be on the PS6, like the second one on the PS5. And I was kind of like, I know it's almost been like created like a full game in itself now, with that first section. But I've played Final Fantasy VII the Midgar section so many times. I mean, obviously the PS1 version is only like 5 hours, if that. And this one's like 40 hours or so. And so it's definitely one to come through at some point and play through that. But it's not like a super high on my list.
Like you're not in a hurry to get to it.
Yeah, it's not a complete fresh story for me. Like, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, 12 and stuff like that. Ones that I kind of have touched before here and there, and it's good to kind of I want to like play through those fully and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, those are very good, both of those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think 7 remaster, we'll probably give it a go. I was kind of waiting for it to come on PC because I thought, a year afterwards,
that'd
exclusivity, it would come on PC. But I don't know if that's I think the rumors are like December.
I think you picked
like
up a PS5, haven't you?
I haven't. Oh, I'm still on I haven't been able to get a PS5. I did get a 3090, so I'm grateful
Okay.
there.
I did see.
But
It's
I
funny you
haven't.
mentioned that. I was
Yeah.
looking at your profile, and I saw like 3090, and I think it's the same one, the same
It's the exact
Zotac
same one that
that
you've
I
got.
have.
I got it from the same place as well because I was looking for it, and then you were like, I remember seeing you on Twitter saying that you
Right.
just put your order through, and I was like, where?
Let's
Where
go.
did you get it?
Yeah.
And then yeah, it was before the whole spike of prices as well. So I think
We in some ways we got lucky, even though obviously it's overpriced. Not overpriced, but it's like the value is not there when you compare it to something like the 3080.
The 3080.
We all understand, right? But at the same time, it was all that was available at the time. If you wanted something, like top shelf, and
if you could get
we
a
were
3080,
lucky to get it at recommended price or close to it.
Exactly. So. Yeah, because I think I was saying to chat like, the 3080 would be nice and would be cheaper and more efficient, but the 3080 costs more than my 3090 does right now. So I'm going to take the 3090.
Way harder to get too, but back when I was looking at it. So
yeah, so I got the 3090 and I can't get a PS5 for love no money. I was hovering over eBay, like, do I just pay almost double for it? And I was like, no.
I found mine in StockX. Do you know that site?
Yes, yeah.
And it was almost like MSRP. Actually, it was pretty close to MSRP, maybe like $50 above or $80.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Which these days is as good as it gets.
Yeah,
And they have like a proper verification system where they verify the product before sending it to you.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I want to try and get one because I'm really intrigued by Returnal.
That looked pretty cool, actually.
Clank, and then obviously eventually Final Fantasy 16, whenever that's planned to come out.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I think when both consoles launched, the Xbox and the PS5, I was like, there's nothing on. I mean, all the Xbox ones come to PC now anyway, which is great, amazing. And the PS5 ones, I was like, I don't do a lot of Dark Souls. I'm not very good at those. And I was like, and I still got to play Spider-Man, the normal one, let alone the Miles Morales one.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't a lot on the PS5 that was grabbing me at launch, but now like there's more games that are starting to trickle out that are like, okay, I want to check out Returnal.
I think it's going to take
some of these ones.
Exactly. It's going to take a good while until it's a really solid buy in terms of like value.
Exactly.
But just because of how hard it was to get, I just wanted to get it out of the way so that if a game does come up that I want to stream, for example, I don't have to worry about, I need to procure a PS5.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think I'll definitely be trying to keep an eye on one. But Demon Souls, isn't it? Timeless Soul.
Yeah, Demon Souls was great, but
it looks gorgeous. Yeah.
You said you're not a huge fan of the series, so it wouldn't make much sense.
I'm just really bad at them. I'm so bad at like the games where you parry and have to time it right and dodge, and like I loved the look of the Surge and I loved the premise of it, and then I started getting into it and I was like, oh my god, I'm just not good at this game. like these kind of ones like Sekiro and stuff. Like I would love to enjoy them, and maybe I just got to sit down and just try it a lot more and just practice it. But I'm just naturally not very good at them. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which I know is kind of like not nowhere near as hard as that, but obviously like similar.
Well, you can customize the difficulty a lot in that, right? Which is great.
And I really enjoyed that game, but I was like, right, normal difficulty was like hard enough for me, and I was, and I've got force powers with this one, so it's definitely one where it would probably be one where we'd try it and there'll be a death counter and we'll probably get to triple figures. Like
it sounds easily. Like you're a bit like me where the parrying stuff doesn't click with you. I'm not a fan of the parrying stuff, which is why I like Dark Souls 3, well, Dark Souls in general and Demon Souls more than, for example, Sekiro or Surge or those, because they don't rely as much on parrying at all. You can get through the game without parrying. You can have a style where, you're just kind of rolling and you're doing some blocking and it's strafing and all that. So you have more options is what I'm trying to say, which is nice.
Yeah. And I think like Thomas Soul says, persistence is key. I think that's the one thing is that I haven't really ever given them a good go. like a good proper sit down and go through them, you know. And the ones I have tried, they've been like not the inferior ones, but you know, like I've tried Lords of the Fallen. I think that was like a, you know, and that was like a Dark Souls, but it's not as good as Dark Souls, right?
Right, exactly.
And I tried that. What was that one that came out like last year? It was
Mortal Shell.
Mortal Shell, yeah, that one. Like, I tried that, and that was actually pretty cool. I was rubbish at it as well, but like a really cool premise and idea. But again, I just didn't really stick with it. Whereas other games, like I'll like stick through a grinding RPG or a completely like harrowing like shooter like section on hard mode or like legendary difficulty or something like that. So I definitely have that persistence in there. I guess I just haven't really sat down and gone like, right, I'm going to sit down and play Dark Souls or Neo or something like that and really go through it. More so because I'm worried about the parrying side of things. But yeah, maybe I just gotta it'll click with me, I guess, at some point.
I wanted to come back to the streaming thing for kind of a last question that I had for you.
Yeah.
What do you do offline to try to, you know, prop up your stream, put yourself out there a bit? I know you're on Twitter. I see you there a lot. But like, it's very hard, right, to get new people, like to give them a legit reason to click. Because, you know, everybody has a stream, everybody has a blog, whatever.
Yeah,
why should they click your shit? So for you, how do you think about the problem of, you know, getting yourself out there, and what's your strategy?
Yeah, so I think like towards the end of last year, I was dabbled a little bit of YouTube, putting some stuff up, and had some like decent kind of response with that as well. So that's definitely something on my radar to like kind of pick back up and keep doing, because it seemed to do reasonably well, and it's the thing that you hear the most from all the stream coaches and stream experts and the people who've been there and done it. You know, Twitch is not great for discoverability. You need to diversify. You need to put it elsewhere into, you know, even things like TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that. For me, I was starting with the YouTube side of things, you know, hanging out in Twitter and stuff like that, and meeting other people on Twitch and stuff, because I wasn't a Twitch user before. That's the thing. I didn't know what Twitch was really, and I almost joined Mixer, and good job I didn't. So I like basically my Twitch kind of account, I think I created it ages ago actually to watch the ACG podcast.
Oh, nice.
Like ages ago, like back in like April 2019 or something. Right. I didn't actually start streaming until February 2020. So the account literally just had ACG followed. That was it. And so I hadn't even experienced Twitch as an ecosystem. I hadn't already built up knowing people or knowing other streamers or stuff like that. So I literally just like, it was just opening OBS and hitting start streaming.
Yeah,
like that was literally it. And Twitter and kind of finding out a lot about it and watching YouTube stuff and things. And so I think there's I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to rely on Twitch for my income stream.
Yeah.
And I've arguably been able to invest on my stream much more than someone else in my same position would be able to.
Right.
Because I have another business that's, you know, that I'm doing majority of the time. And that's where my, you know, what I'm trying to get to the point of is almost have my other business running a lot more autonomously, so that I can maybe pull back just 4 or 3 days a week on that. And I can maybe have a day or two where I'm actually just doing content creation, YouTube, because it's not necessarily the filming. I've got the filming, I've got the editing software, I can do it. I can color grade, I can do that stuff. Probably eventually I would just want to get a film editor or a YouTube editor just to do it for me and doing it 10 times better anyway. But you know, I've learned that, like I said at the beginning, I love figuring out and learning new things. But sometimes it's just the ideas of stuff or the stuff that I think, no one wants to watch that. And then people in chat are like, yeah, you should do a video on this. And I'm like, why? Like, it doesn't cross my mind that people would be interested in that kind of stuff or there's a demand for it. And I think that's my biggest thing is the ideas, not the execution, which I think sometimes is the other way around. There's people that have tons of ideas, but they don't have the execution or they can't like just create it and get it out. And so it's one of those things where I just need to, again, put some more time in place, put some more videos together on YouTube and stuff, and go from there, really. Because I think there's no, like I said, it's not a sprint. There's not one thing I could do that could make me partnered overnight and make me have 1,000 viewers. And do I even want that, like, long term? Like, do I want to be that big, or you know? Because I think that's I am here for the community and the people I've met and the people I can play games with. And I feel there's like a level, isn't there? Like probably like 300, 400, 500 viewers where you start to lose chat. You can't respond to everyone in chat anymore. It's just not, it'd be just chatting stream if that was the case. Like, you can't play games and talk to everyone. And it becomes like that threshold where there's just too much going on. And I think, I mean, it's see how I feel if I get there, kind of thing, when I get there. But I think the in my mind, you know, around that 100 mark would be quite a nice milestone to be, because I feel like that would be quite enough of a nice community, and we'd be vibing and stuff. But I'm not losing what I currently feel is really important, which is that community and friendship aspect of meeting these people and playing these games with everyone.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
I agree. I think the moment, you know, the people in chat are just like random people to you, it kind of loses a bit of the magic, because I think, you know, where we're at, we get to know people to a certain level. Like, you know, even though some people you haven't even talked with them, but you know, you see them chat, you know how they respond to things, the kind of jokes they make and stuff. You kind of get to know the different kind of personalities there. I think that's a big thing for me, is the sense of you know, actually connecting at some level with people, as opposed to just being, you know, random person stopping by, which is also appreciated. But is that, like, you know, going from a random person to someone you kind of know a little bit is part of the magic, I think.
Yeah, really, really cool. It's always good when that like happens and you're like, this person like has found this enjoyable. They found their community a nice place that they want to be a part of and stuff. And it might move on one day, but at least while they're here, it's something. It's a cool thing that that's happened, kind of thing. It's really good.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk a little bit about, so as we kind of come to the end of our time here, I wanted to talk a bit about life balance, because you, again, we have like a lot in common, where I also want to do this kind of pulling back from my main job, so I'm a software engineer, my day job. And this idea that you mentioned, which is like kind of pulling back a little over time, so that we can put more attention into the streaming thing, and having like almost like a 50-50 thing would be really cool. But for you, how do you balance having, you know, a full-time job with streaming and all the other stuff in life that you may have going on? Is it like difficult for you? Do you have systems in place that help?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably fortunate that because I do run my own business, I can kind of, I have stuff to do, obviously, and I have a team of people that I'm paying so that they do their stuff and everything like that as well. And so that, you know, if I was just running the accountancy firm as like a one-man band, I probably wouldn't have the time, or I'd have a lot less clients and stuff like that. Whereas as I'd already, before I'd started streaming, wanted to grow this into like a practice with more people in there, it is like on the one hand, on the one side of things, I want to cut more of the accountancy work that I actually do. And I've already done that to some extent. Like, you know, a lot of my stuff now is sales and emails and, you know, queries, make sure team are happy, make sure customers are happy, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think like a goal that I've always, because I've been playing games since I was like so young anyway. It'd be a dream, right? To just play games, play games, all like for your day, for your job, and so, but from my side of things, I'd be I can start to kind of take a step back, let you know, free up some of that time to work more on the stream itself, not necessarily stream more, but actually work on the stream itself. So that, you know, whether that's video content, networking, that kind of stuff, so that I can kind of supplement the streaming a bit more. that can grow a bit more and go from there and like have the two together. But I think from a balance point of view, you know, I have my work desk, my MacBook over there, my gaming rig here, and I have the one chair, and I'm never at the same desk, so I'm basically like, am I working or am I playing games? And yeah, other than that, it's kind of just, you know, because it's flexible working and people turn up when they want to turn up for the normal job side of things. You know, I can kind of just chill in the evenings after a stream, or I can finish a bit early and just chill out and stuff like that as well. But it will be definitely interesting when it's back to normality, like a post-COVID world, because I think I've only really experienced streaming and working and that balance at the same time while COVID's been on, where I don't have loads of things to go to. I mean, I'm not touting my own horn saying I'm super popular or anything like that, but you know, there are like seeing friends or going to cinema or you know, going out and seeing family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's not something that's really in the schedule at the moment. It's not really, you know, so it's pretty much right. Okay, I'm gonna finish work, have some dinner, chill out for a little bit. I'm gonna start the stream, play games until like 1 a.m., get some sleep, rinse, repeat. And that for me is like a perfect life. I have no qualms about that at all.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great when people are like, you know, you don't have to make excuses for why you just want to stay inside today and play games. Like you can just go, oh, sorry, COVID.
Right, exactly. You have the perfect.
Yeah, it's the perfect excuse. So yeah, like I get like there's some people who are a lot more like extroverted, and you know, being inside all day and playing games doesn't cut it. It doesn't satisfy their dopamines or whatever. It doesn't meet their requirements, and they're like eager to get out and stuff. Whereas I'm perfectly, you know, I've got the social side of, you know, the work side and the streaming side, and for me that's great. And you get to play games and hang out with everyone. It's it's been good so far. But yeah, that'll be the next bridge to cross, is when things are better and stuff like that. Like, do we tweak the streaming schedule and what do we do from there?
Right. Yeah, that'll be interesting. For you, how much of your like connections that matter most to you are, you know, IRL people versus online friends? How do you feel about that?
So I would say only a couple of people in my real life actually know I stream, to be honest. Like, not that I've kept it kind of separate. Initially, because I thought, I mean, a lot of our clients and stuff are super modern and progressive anyway, like progressive businesses and stuff like that anyway. But yeah, it's not something that I've actively tried to hide, but it's not something I've actively promoted personally either. Yeah. So I don't have IRL friends hyping up in chat, coming in, helping out, stuff like that. Like, because a lot of them don't even know I do it. Like a lot of them don't know I actually do it. And so I kind of have these two worlds in a way, where one is, you know, kind of business owner, accountant, like kind of boss of people and stuff like that. So much as I hate that word and stuff like, you know, I'm like, you know, that's one side of it. And then the other side is this kind of just playing games and just being relaxed and chilled and stuff like that. And I think I was always had that one concern of, you know, what if I had clients start coming into my stream and then questioning, oh, like, why aren't you doing this for me right now? Like, stop what you're doing and do my tax return.
Oh, like that.
Not that they would, but not that they would, because again, we don't really bring those those type of clients on. But like,
it can be a weird perception thing for them to see
very
you
much
like
at the
that.
beginning.
Yeah,
because I think there is that kind of thing that, oh, accountancy's got to be prestigious and stuff like that.
Right.
But you know, our whole brand is like pink and charcoal and modern and on Instagram with almost 10K followers and stuff. Like we don't do the normal stuff. We don't have the normal clients. It is very much a modern take on it. And so, but it was an early kind of thing of mine of, let's keep it separate just in case. Like people say like, oh, why is he messing around doing that? Like, let's let's leave, or he's not taking it seriously for the accounting side of things and stuff. But yeah, to be fair, like that subsided like after a month or so. I was like, actually, like, it doesn't matter. But it just kind of stayed that way anyway, that it's kind of two separate worlds almost. Which I think helps having that, keeps that separation.
Some boundaries is nice.
Yeah, it's nice to just go from go from, working and doing what I love there to then almost having this change to literally another desk and just going, right.
Yeah.
Now I'm like literally like
Superman.
I'm going to the Batcave and putting the Batman suit on. Like,
yeah.
Exactly. Like it's exactly like with the glasses. Like that's the only difference between him being Superman between being accountant and streamer. That is it. It's literally a desk change with a different
put on
setup.
A different hat and go from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So, dude, now I'm cognizant of your time. We're coming up on the hour there, but what is going on your channel this next week that people can go and check out?
Yeah. So at the moment we're playing through Final Fantasy VIII, as I said before, and we're also playing through Nier Replicant, the kind of the remaster that came out recently. The original 2010 game, I think, was released just in Japan last time. So I've been playing through that because I played Automata for the first time last year as a recommendation. Because again, there's Nier raids in Final Fantasy 14, so I was like,
I saw that
Nier Automata, and then Nier Automata was just like mind blowing for me in terms of just game design, just from a game design perspective and an audio perspective as well. Again, awesome music. What is it with Japanese games having like super awesome music? Like they put such an importance on it, and it really just like raise the game so much more. I've been playing Nier, been playing Final Fantasy VIII, and playing Final Fantasy 14 a little bit at the moment. But we got quite a good queue. Want to check out Biomutant when that comes out?
Yeah,
Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm a massive Mass Effect fan.
Hell yeah!
So really, any excuse to play through that again, like from 1 to 3, that will be amazing. And I think we're gonna play BioShock again, like the remaster. I haven't played that since like when it first came out in 2007, and I think that was voted on the stream that we play that at some point. So those are all things that will be coming up at some point, which would be cool.
Awesome. Well, listen, dude, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I really enjoy your stuff, the streams I've caught, and it's been nice kind of connecting through Twitter. One of the beauty of nowadays you can find random people you otherwise would never have come across. So I appreciate you, man, and I hope to kind of see you around. Stay well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you too. And thank you so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure, and thanks for everyone for hanging out and listening.
All right. Bye-bye, Ben. Take care, man.
Awesome. Take care. See you later.